have some updates around the deal. Of course, before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below, and do not forget to hit that subscribe button down below as well if you haven't done so already. And let's get into it. First, we have a report coming in from Roger Toledo of Mundo Deportivo. He's come out saying that Julian Alvarez is becoming increasingly frustrated with Atletico Madrid's directors of what he sees as their indifference regarding his future. He does not understand why Atletico have not been able to respond to Barcelona's 100 million euro bid for him. Julian Alvarez does not understand Atletico's stance regarding his future, especially after the risk he took for them by receiving injections to make himself available for the second leg of the Champions League semi-final against Arsenal. In fact, he continues to receive treatment on his ankle and has not yet been able to play under Lionel Scaloni during the Argentinian training camp. And that is one of the big factors a lot that the Argentinian camp are bringing up, that he's still not fit, that they're waiting for him to be fit. He's hopefully going to be able to be fit for the first game against Algeria, I believe. I've seen some reports suggesting that he will be at least 100% fit. Whether he starts or not remains to be seen. But again, we're hearing more and more from the camp of Julian Alvarez that he is very upset with Atletico Madrid. We talked about in the last video how the Argentinian reporter that's very close to Julian Alvarez's entourage came out saying that they're very upset about the whole situation, how the bid was ignored, how he put pain injections in him and wasn't even, thanked for it, or wasn't even, consolidated for it as well. So the entire situation is becoming a bit toxic. Now, there has been some big movements in regards to Barcelona's stance in Julian Alvarez, and this actually comes after Victor Osimhen was offered to Barcelona by intermediates. According to Carlos Monfront of Sport, top 5, top 3 Barca sources without a shadow of a doubt, he came out saying that Victor Osimhen has been offered to Barcelona through intermediates. However, Barcelona is not considering signing him as a priority option to strengthen the attack. Julian Alvarez is still Barcelona's main objective to sign in the striker position. Barcelona knows of Victor Osimhen's quality and is highly regarded within Barcelona, but Barcelona is fully aware that he's one of the best center forwards available on the market. But despite this, Barcelona remains convinced that Julian Alvarez is the priority option. More importantly, Barcelona still believes that Julian Alvarez's operation is still feasible. So when you're struggling to sign, a big striker, especially a big player in a certain position as well, and you get offered another really good option by people that know Osimhen, say, hey, look, he's ready to move on from Galatasaray. He's definitely open and would be willing to come to Barcelona as well. And you're remaining firm on your stance. The big thing here that I see is Julian Alvarez's operation is feasible. So from Barcelona internally, they believe that they can still sign Julian Alvarez. They've not, lost that doubt whatsoever, especially now with Deco returning from his 1-week break. Hopefully things can pick up heading into the start of the World Cup week. But Barcelona have been offered Osimhen. That is now confirmed, but Barcelona have said we'll put that on the back burner for now, as we still want to sign Julian Alvarez over him, and they still believe they can. They don't think the deal is complicated. They don't think it will drag out. They see the operation entirely as feasible, which I think is some huge news. Now, for the first time since those dramatic tweets, Barcelona has officially responded to Atletico Madrid's rant. You could say, what was it, 2 Fridays ago, or not last Friday, but the Friday beforehand. Not really attacking Barcelona, but more so mocking Barcelona. And it was Rafael Yuste, the acting current president of Barcelona, of course the vice president under Joan Laporta, who will be of course the official president in a few weeks time. He was, I think, speaking with eSport 3, and he was asked on Atletico Madrid's tweets last week. He said, well, it's fine, I believe that education and respect should be above everything else, and therefore we must set the example from the president himself to the board of directors so that people believe in it. Does that tweet change Barcelona's plans regarding Julian Alvarez? Rafael said, no, it doesn't change any plans for us. Education has something to do with the sporting plans, what Deco is handling very well. Therefore, he should continue doing the great job that he is doing. As of the other matter, imagine that responsibility. So he's pushing all the blame to Atletico Madrid, saying that they're being, a bit childish, they're not being professional. They also don't think that Barcelona themselves have acted in any ill intent whatsoever. This is an excellent response from the president. Again, when you're taking questions and you get asked this question, if you don't answer it, it will look a bit weird. So he answered it in the best way possible, saying that, look, we will react with sportsmanship, we act with respect, and they don't want to act that way. That's on them, and imagine that responsibility. So that's big words there from the president of Barcelona. Now finally, the final thing that I want to come out with is this opinion post by Ferran Coraz in Sport. Of course, Ferran Coraz is a very well-known Barcelona journalist. I'd probably say he's top 10, maybe even top 12 around Barcelona. I think this is his opinion only, but he came out saying that Barcelona, it seems it's forbidden from signing players in Spain. Every time the club wants to sign a player from La Liga, controversy erupts. Atletico Madrid have become outraged because Barcelona want to sign one of their players, Julian Alvarez. Although Barcelona has not publicly said a word, Atletico consider it an insult that the contact had taken place with Julian Alvarez's entourage. It is a repeat of the situation last summer with Joan Garcia and Nico Williams as well. It appears that Atletico Madrid speaking now about the latest club to attack Barcelona did not speak with Alex Baena before entering negotiation with Villarreal last summer, nor with Marc Pubil before dealing with Almeria as well, nor with Johnny Cardoso before approaching Betis, nor with Rodrigo Mendoza before negotiating with Elche. That of course was this previous January. All those cases are there, and there were barely any noise around them. But of course Barcelona were not involved. Barcelona, the biggest club in the world, that rest of the La Liga, scrutinized under the magnifying glass. So again, he's pointing the finger there at Atletico Madrid, saying, look, even I think Florentino Perez took a dig during his election campaign, which I think he won. The reality is, legally, how to sign a player is you go to the club, you make a bid, and they accept it, then you go to the player and convince him. But nowadays, every single time for the past, I would say, since Fabrizio Romano has come into play, I would say just before COVID, it's kind of the opposite now. All the clubs go to the player and make sure the player is convinced, agree personal terms, and then proceed with the club. Sometimes people will say, hey, we want to sign, let's say, for example, I want to sign Manchester United, I want to sign Bruno Fernandes. They might say, hey, United, we're interested in Bruno, can we go speak to him first before we make a bid to you? They might say yes sometimes, especially if they want the player out. Maybe the player has 1 year left in his contract, depending on the circumstances. Of course, in the Bruno's case today, they'll probably say, hell no, do not get near him whatsoever. But that's how you always do it. You go to the player, hey, we're thinking about these terms here. Are you open to coming to us? Would you sacrifice to come to us? They'll say yes, they'll say no. If they say yes, great, you go to the club and you negotiate. This has always been the case. Barcelona have not done anything with ill intent, but for somehow, some way, Atletico Madrid have really taken it to bad taste. But what we know now is that Julian Alvarez wants out. Barcelona now hoping to make some advancements this week with Deco returning now from that Legends match, which I think the Legends match they won 8-3 against Liverpool. So great victory. I'm seeing Mascherano taking long shots, thinking what the hell is going on here. But anyways, Deco is back now alongside Boyan as well. Maybe things can progress this upcoming week. Again, Barcelona don't want to drag this out, and keep your eyes as well on Diego Simeone's involvement, the Atletico Madrid coach. I have been told by some sources as well that if Julian Alvarez tells Diego Simeone he wants out, he does not believe in his project, Diego Simeone will go to Atletico Madrid and say, sell Julian Alvarez. So keep your eyes on Diego Simeone's involvement. Again, when you're a top coach like him, top 15, I know he wins nothing, but he's still a top 15 coach in the world. When you have a player, especially a star player like Julian, who does not believe in your system, your style of play, and your philosophy, they will want him out. It's the same for Pep, same for Luis Enrique, same for Hansi Flick, which of course he said back in January, taking a little bit of jabs as well at Dro's move to PSG. Every top manager is like that. So keep your eyes on that scenario. I'm being told, and I'm seeing reports as well, that Julian Alvarez might have a phone call with Diego Simeone and tell him, or maybe his entourage representative, somehow, some way, the communication will get to Diego Simeone that Julian Alvarez does not believe in his project, does not want to play his way, and wants to leave. And that will be a huge play for Barcelona, because if your coach tells you to get rid of a player, it might lead into Barcelona's hands. I'm also hearing sources as well close to Barcelona saying that, look, they're very confident once they put that second bid in, between 120 130 million euros, that it will be accepted. So again, like I've been saying a lot in the past few videos, the ball is now in Barcelona's court to make an impact on this deal. They sat quiet now for about a week and a half, letting the tension simmer with the Atletico Madrid tweets. Again, all the reports that have come out over the past week have been coming more so from Atletico Madrid and Julian Alvarez's camp. Nothing really come out from Barcelona, so to speak. Maybe just minor things that they're still interested in Julian Alvarez. That's really it. But it was Julian Alvarez that came out saying he's unhappy, especially with his treatment after the semifinal of the Champions League against Arsenal, that he's surprised that the bid was ignored by Atletico. So everything's coming in from Julian, Argentina, and from Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid are also saying that, we're very confident, we're planning next season with Julian Alvarez. So they're quite clearly in denial. So we will see how this plays out, but keep your eyes on two things. One, Deco coming back now from his, leave of absence for that Legends match, and also Diego Simeone's involvement. Those two will be the key factors heading into this week. Of course, the World Cup starts this week as well. I think Argentina's first game is actually a week tomorrow. So on Tuesday, the 16th, the World Cup, before starts on Thursday. Argentina's first game is on Tuesday. So keep your eyes on things, how things will develop in the next few weeks. But of course, in the comments down below, let me know your guys' thoughts. Think this move will happen or not? What amount do you think that Atletico will sell Julian for? You think that Julian will end up staying? You think that Diego Simeone could have a big factor as well? I'm still very confident this deal will get through, but this week I really need and I want as well some advancement, something different. It's been a lot of the same noise since Atletico Madrid's rampage on Twitter. I want something new, I want something different, and hopefully we can get that this week. If you don't want to miss it, of course, make sure you drop a subscription down below. Subscribe, it's free. I'll be keeping you guys updated on everything as well. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like as well. Now,